Peak week, Atlanta Pro. I know. Shocker, what's going on, John? I am currently 6 days out at the time of filming this. Just to give you some insight, Renee's show was last weekend, and Friday, this was, just one day out for her. I'm looking at the schedule, and I look at the Atlanta Pro, and I had saw it before and knew it was Masters, and then Michaela Aycock was like, no, they have all the open classes. I'm like, I looked at it, no. It's just Masters. Then I'm look again, and I don't know why I even looked. And I'm like, it does have 212. Then it just got me thinking. I was like, man, I'm ready. Like, I'm 100% ready. Atlanta gives me a 1 week before Chicago, which makes it a nice roll in if I chose to still do Chicago. Also saw that there's a longer weigh-in period, which is a very big advantage for me. It was a influencing factor as well, and just the fact that I'm ready. And to do Chicago, I'd have to wait to do Tampa or Texas. And I've done Tampa so many times, I wasn't that interested in doing it. I've never done the Atlanta show, so that kind of drew my interest as well. So I changed my schedule. We're doing Atlanta, Chicago, and that's the plan. I booked everything, and over the weekend, pulled carbs 50 grams, started to bring weight down to make this weight, pulled out test growth hormone, yohimbine, and so through the weekend, I pulled about 3 pounds off. I'm very close to weight fast in the morning, so I need to be at weight by 5 p.m. So there'll be still some adjustments needed, and probably eating and drinking on weigh-in day, which is Friday. I compete on Sunday, kind of as needed, just to hold body weight pretty close to that mark. But again, I won't compete till Sunday, so I'll have almost 36 hours to carb up, which will be phenomenal, versus Chicago, it's like 18 hours. So advantages, and if everything goes right, Renee and I are still going to Chicago because it's my birthday. So might just go and celebrate in Chicago my birthday, and that's it. But anyway, I'm here at the gym. I'm going to do my last push workout, walk you through it as I go through, and maybe later on we'll kind of talk about nutrition and cardio and what's changing for the week. So starting the session, this is more the chest focused session. Plan for this week is to have push PT day, which is Monday. Tomorrow's pull. Wednesday, I fly out. I'm gonna make that my off day, which I can just relax and not have to worry about running to the gym, get food out there. Thursday will be the push session where I hit more delt and do some arm base. Friday will be weigh-in day, which I won't train that day because I probably won't have a lot of fluid. And then Saturday's likely we're just going to do like a practice pump up session. Sunday show day. So on this prime lateral, I'm just pulling one set off. Today will be around RIR 2 to 3. So just a few reps away from failure. Trying to dial back. Main thing here is tapering down fatigue. We're trying to feed at maintenance, so we're not having to give those last final reps to really maintain tissue right now. It's just about dropping off fatigue to get that really, really sharp looking. Right, so on the pec deck, pulling the set off, just doing 2 sets here. One thing I would say, like running a deload and in a peak week, is like, man, we don't need to be doing sets of like 4 reps, because what you could do is you look at your logbook, right? You hit 9 reps last time. I'm going to train at 3 RIR. So you can say, oh, I'll do that load for 6 reps. I would advise using that load somewhere so you're landing 10 to 14. So you can lighten the load this week, just train up to that same effort level where that first rep just starts to slow down. Like that's around your 3 RR. So that's what I would do this week. You know, if you had some top sets that were really low in reps to begin with, like you hit like a 7 or an 8, I would adjust the load in that case to stay a little safer. So on the Nautilus press, just have down to 1 set now. I've been doing 2, so pretty much today is like 50% volume reduction. And yeah, it's things that are already in place, is like controlled reps, dead stops. If you haven't been doing these things are could implement on peak week if you wanted to stay a little bit safer with lightening the load as well. You'll probably fall within that rep range. Rep might be a little bit higher, but again, as long as you're within this hypertrophy rep range and you're reaching that proximity to your, failure RIR that you're targeting, it's all the same stimulus. But like I said, again, to get like really jerky with reps in peak week, like 6 days out from a show, it's just dumb. You'd hate to just have an injury happen that close to a show. So, but again, on my push day, a lot of this stuff's already in place. So like on the Nautilus, already dead stops, very controlled slow reps. Those are standards already set. So diet update, at least for today, is I just go daily. So I'm waking up, see where my weight's at, see what the look's at, I'm trying to feed it maintenance. So if I'm seeing weight come down a little bit, I add more in. So being a little lighter today, added 60 grams of carbs in. So I'm sitting now 300 grams of carb, 50 grams of fat, 280 grams of protein. So that's gonna be potentially close to maintenance going into weigh-ins, which is a good amount of food, but still it's flat. And I'll post, I have like some meals in, we'll see like post training how I look, but it's still like a flat look in the morning. As far as steps go, I was at 12,000, pulled 1,000 off today, and also lowered clean a little bit. So if I wasn't like a weight cap situation, I would drive food up more because the steps aren't a big deal. However, since I have to make weight, I'd rather bring some output down and keep food a little bit more conservative. So those are at least the changes going in for now. And again, it's just adjust daily and go from there. So did my incline press, pulled 1 set off, just 1 set, and we'll go on to tricep work. All right, wrapped up triceps, did 2 push downs, 2 sets of push downs, 1 set of overhead. I left my 2 sets regular. It loads a lot in the short position, so it's not very taxing. Did pull off 1 set overhead extension. Again, it's not a taxing movement, but again, the idea is like get a good stimulus and move on. Like triceps get pumped really easy. I was doing 4 work sets, did 3 today. Again, our RIR is a little higher, so that will wrap up triceps and be it for that. One thing I would mention is like consistency in your peak week. I know we travel to other gyms, but I would find like similar movement patterns and not the week to experiment with new exercises. The novelty of something could make you pretty sore, and you don't want to go into your show with any level of fatigue or soreness. So keep that in mind. It's also not the week to up your posing. Stay fresh. Squeezing your quads over and over and over can really bring a lot of fatigue. So this week's just about assessing the look. So hit your poses to see that and move on. No need to go through rounds and rounds of posing. Right back home from the gym. It was a good session, had a good pump. We can look at my visuals here now, popping up on the screen somewhere on one side, but they look really sharp. Like just making the changes over the weekend and being able to increase food, pull back already on fatigue. I've already dropped some water just from that and look really sharp. And this is like, these visuals are after 2 meals and about 1.5 gallons of water, and they're solid. So this is around 215 pounds there. And again, I haven't started up the carb up process, of course, but gives me an idea of trying to find that look of where I need to nail it. Because for what I'm doing, I'll have to make weight in the afternoon. I need to be 212, right? Then I'll do a back load. So that'll be right after I make weight, start increasing food pretty aggressively. And the visuals I'll have to look is follow my visuals and weight kind of meal by meal till I see where that best look is between fullness and hardness. Then wake up on show day and make sure I get back to that, which I can do by knowing how much weight I drop overnight. And I'll have a good gauge throughout this week of trying to find that look and knowing how much fluid I need, roughly how much food I'll need also to get to that ideal kind of stage weight, which there's going to be some GI weight loss because I don't have fiber pulled yet. So I'm still thinking probably 215 to 16 will be a good number, but not like today when you're seeing me like full of fiber as well. So that'll be still like 10 pounds up from when I competed in 2021, which it should be a lot fuller look, which I'm really excited about. And that's the goal for this show, is no matter who shows up, just bringing the best 212 look that I've ever walked on stage with. Like, that will be my win. Anyway, that's the goal for this. That's how I'm going to kind of execute this week. For making weight, man, if you can avoid diuretics and water manipulation, that's going to be the biggest limiting factor in getting back up into getting full and staying hard. So you do everything, get flatter, manipulate dietary fiber, PEDs to get down to weight on weigh-in day, then just hold that. And you could limit water on that day. That's not as big of a deal. But once you start putting in diuretics and doing massive water loads and cuts, it's hard to come back. So that's when you're not going to probably ever see your best look in that division, and it probably is time to move up. When is it time for me to move up? Not quite yet. I'm one show at a time, and this is the one that I'm focused on. But anyway, speaking of fiber, I'm going to go eat this last meal, which is my big bowl of salad, which I'll miss later in the week, and chow down. So if you have questions on this peak week process, leave them down below. Also, you can find my full log on the J3U forum, putting up daily. You can see all my details in depth of exactly what I'm eating and the PED side and things that people might wonder about, the fluid side, etc. But anyway, I appreciate everyone's support, and thanks again for watching, and we will maybe talk to you after the show, probably.